Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly Dungeon Master this evening, this afternoon, this morning, wherever this finds you, whenever this finds you. Today, we are carrying on with our ongoing campaign playing Jeff Talanian's very cool Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea, playing through our Reavers of Thule campaign. And with me today are the Reavers themselves. I'll go through the order I've got you guys on the screen. Why don't you tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what level are you currently? And I realize, Dave, I don't have your token in there. Neither do I for Colin. Hold on. So I will get those for you. First up, we have Arlen. Who are you playing today?
Hi, I'm Arlen. I am playing Xaniko, who is a devotee of the Great Feathered Serpent who guarantees the world. He's working on the companions, trying to get them to be, not such heathenous bastards, maybe follow the light, all that sort of stuff. But we're going to have to see. Some of them are a little reluctant to, and one of them wants to make a deal with the devil. It's just a whole mess.
I clearly missed something. Next up is Will.
Hi, I'm Will. I'm playing Amar Kalsasing. I am a Sikh monk from 18th century Earth, currently 6th level.
Very nice. Next up is Dave.
Hey everybody, I'm Dave. I am playing Gwenrick Jen's daughter. She is a Norse-inspired fighter, level 4, based on a character from my last novel.
Very nice. And last but certainly not least is Colin, a.k.a. Spike Pit.
Hello. Yep, I'm playing Kane the Lion. He's a hammer-wielding Khmeri Celt. And he's got plans and schemes.
Lovely. Very nice. Okay, so guys, last session, I'm trying to think here. Dave missed it and Colin missed it based on me having to retrieve the tokens. What happened last time, guys?
Well, we went exploring. We're in the sort of basement beneath this Atlantean or pseudo-Atlantean tower that's in the middle of the jungle. And we went through, we found, so Malo, at the end of the previous session before, found a worm man, like a man made out of worms.
Yes.
And we decided that was pretty freaky deaky and we didn't want to mess with him. And so we traced back our steps. Yeah. And we went into another direction from the basement, and that led us to this hallway and then to this room, and we found a nasty slime creature that liked to divide into other slime creatures that could only be put down by a liberal application of radium gun. That was pretty bad, covered in like puckered mouths, and got Amar and Reagan both bleeding out and unconscious at one point. Malo had to rush in and pick up the gun and finish off the last one. And luckily it worked, because otherwise we were going to be in serious trouble. And so then we dragged Amar and Reagan back to the room outside the kind of anteroom outside of Cavavincian's chamber, still in the basement, but it's I can't see it, so I can't ping for the viewers at home, but I'm sure Kevin could do that. And we decided to take a rest there. We rested, got some spells back, got some healing back, and then we Malo tried the door and got fried, and that was pretty nasty. And then I can't remember where it was that Amar got fried, but he got fried too at one point. So Furcus Shoed is this Atlantean guy who we're doing our best to make friends with, but he doesn't seem to want to make friends with us. And he keeps leaving these electrical traps around, and it zaps somebody down to most of their health gone. Anyway, and then we went back to this room that we're in right now, and we looked at. So this thing here is kind of like an altar, and there are broken bones upon it, and then on the walls there's all of these different carven relief scenes of calamity and disaster and things like that carved into the walls and into the altar too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. A masterwork of the macabre, basically.
Yeah.
And we got in here and started investigating. We're not quite sure what's going on with this place. Zanico picked up one of the bones. He was able to figure out that the bones were not all from the same being, and he picked up one of the bones to, I think he was trying to look into the like cross section to see if like the marrow had been sucked out or something, like if it's, because that's like a thing that cannibals do sometimes. And then that's where he found some writing on the inside, surprisingly, and it said, "We'll see next time." So
yeah,
that was a real, remarkable for Shoot to put that in there. But
I think it's a real Bush League transition.
No, and then that's where we ended. Is we're in this weird chapel, holy place type thing with a bunch of bones and a bunch of disaster scenes. And Zanico has a little bit of healing magic left. Reagan's not here, and she already used her ale horn. Amar already used his cellular readjustment, I think.
Chiropractic treatment.
His chiropractic treatment.
Yep.
So we're running a little low on resources again, as usual. But Yeah.
So, with that in mind, and the door is open out of this chamber right now. What are we going to do next?
Did we glean any information from these scenes? In terms of, does it throw any light on what's going on? Did anybody
I don't think there's anything like that. I don't remember any discussion of like there are like towers or ships or anything like that in particular. There was like people falling off ladders and stuff like that, but not.
So if you're looking at the way that the people are dressed and how they present and stuff like that. In the illustrations, they look closer to what your expectations of the Atlanteans are. They've got those like tunics with the thing, the designs on the front, fins on the shoulders. It's clearly depicting not like the average, Thulean or Hyperborean village. It's definitely something advanced. And in here as well, it's much more. This is the first room you've seen where there's been like bas relief stuff carved into the walls. Everything else has had that clinical, 50s sci-fi style, like silver and perfectly seam-free walls, things like that.
Well, isn't it kind of rough? Like carved out of the rock in the halls down here.
They're carved, but it's carved perfectly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, does it look like a reproduction type of thing, or does it like look legit? Like if this place was built on a former religious site, or does it look like someone's got an idea of a religious site and they've recreated it here?
Does anyone have like stoneworking or anything like that as their profession?
No, I'm a Fletcher.
I'm not going to say this as a joke, but I'm a hunter.
Kane has an interest in stoneworking, but it's more the demolishing sort of interest, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then you guys are seeing this from a layman's perspective, and I think that I'm not sure you've ever seen more fine craftsmanship on this.
Right. Okay.
Like the whatever, even if you're looking very, very closely on the on the figures themselves and the designs, you're hard pressed to find any like tooling marks on it. There's no like hesitation chips or anything like that. There's no things that have tried to be sanded over because of imperfections or whatever. Everything seems to be precisely how the artist intended it to look.
Can I ask a question about the big picture? So we had defeated those guys at the keep, and then we were wandering through the jungle, and we came across this tower, right? And we went in. Is this the same tower? Like we're been
This is
trying
as far as we know, unless there has been like a temporal shift while we're down here or something like that, which would not be out of the question with the Atlanteans.
Yep.
Right.
It's a giant
as far as
TARDIS.
we know, we're in the basement of the tower that we saw when we were in the jungle.
And so our goal is to try and talk to this in whatever his name is, and find a way out.
Well, that was mostly a joke. Furcus Shoot seems like a bad guy, and we did zap. Well, Iphigenia was the one who zapped him with a lightning bolt, so he definitely doesn't like her. I think Kane smacked him with the hammer a couple times, so he probably doesn't like him. I tried to turn undead on him, so he probably doesn't like me. It's one of those,
So what you're saying is the negotiations can have to be done by the girl who can't talk.
Exactly.
Yeah, talking to him isn't. Yeah, that's an interesting interpretation of the plan.
Yeah.
We don't have all these hammers for talking. Okay.
Basically, we're still trapped in the same tower. That's what I was concerned about.
Yep.
The scenery has shifted a couple times when we were going up, and then now when we've been in the basement, I'm like, feels like it's a different place. So
the basement definitely has. So Arlen's right that there isn't the same silvered walls in the basement, but what there was remember that there was those carved hallways that were so perfectly straight that you were it's like asking a world-class artist to do a drywalling job. It's this is just carving a hallway out of the rock, but the level of craftsmanship that was used is just so perfect that no lowly stonemason would be capable of just digging out such a perfectly aligned walls. And every single one of the other walls is like that as well too.
Yeah.
Also, the lighting was kind of the same with the venting as well.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. They turned off the lights as well too. After you guys slept last too, the lights all went out. You may remember there was like universal ambiance in here.
Mm-hmm.
So what?
I don't know why I gave it that French accent. I clearly.
What did we discover about that kind of plant room, like boiler room type place? Because since I've been in this tower, I'm interested in this central core thing that goes up through it. The problem that I've got is trying to figure out what Kane would make of that realistically, and separating my player understanding of probably what's going on there from Kane's interpretation.
So rather than than thinking it's like evil spirits or something like that, I mean, your characters are. Think of when like Conan makes contact with more advanced things or with sorcery or whatnot. He doesn't recoil and think like, oh God, I don't know what this is and whatnot. He just draws a rough parallel with what his experiences are and then acts based on that understanding. I imagine that your stalwart heroes do something the same or something similar, where it's you guys can see, like Kane is familiar with anvils and with smithing, and with minor mechanisms like water wheels or things like that, or a mill. I think you can extrapolate from there that this is something it's beyond your fathoming how it operates, but you recognize some kind of mechanism when you see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm thinking like this this column going up through the tower, maybe drawing a parallel like you might with a spinal column in a being, a creature. So there's something going up through here. It seems important.
Mm-hmm.
And
we've been drawing. If you draw the analogy with the living being, which Conan often does, if what you've been hearing elsewhere in the tower is the beating, the feeling of its pulse going throughout this too, then you may understand this as perhaps its beating heart.
Mm.
Does that help?
And Cain wants to stop that heart beating, basically, because that's how we roll.
Mm.
I just want to find all the treasure. That's me.
Okay. So, what are you guys thinking? What is our next step here?
So, Kane wants to go back to the sort of boiler room thing that we found and stop the heart. Zanico had an idea that he might be able to somehow put these like bones to rest using some kind of religious ritual, or like one of his ideas was maybe even like because his script is carving often, so maybe even like carving script into the bones that is like holy passages or words or something like that might help.
Did we talk? What did we talk about the layout of the altar and the placement of the bones last time? Did we talk about that at all?
I don't think so. We talked about the nature of the bones in that they were old and from different periods.
Yeah.
That like some of the bones are from different animals.
Oh, and you were going to ask. Yeah. So, and you were asking about the feeding on the bones. So
yes.
If you look in closely at them, what you can see is that there isn't any like marring or damage to the bones that would come from jaws or teeth. Mm-hmm. So it's whatever these bones, whatever is broken on them, this seems to be, it's got to be some other cause. And if you're looking around at what is carved into the wall, the placement of this big stone, we keep calling it an altar, but the big stone thing, what is Zanico's impression coming from a church himself? What's his thought as to the purpose of this room?
So he's kind of his original guess, based on like, well, there's bones in an altar and there's carvings, would be some type of like a crypt, but it doesn't really feel like. It seems more like these bones are a sacrificial element,
yeah.
Right?
So if this was, I mean, I'll leave it to you to decide how. If your people remain true to your ancestors, your earthly ancestors too, some of your kind are interred in the earth. So, looking around here, do you see any crypts? Do you see any placements anywhere you could place a body?
Maybe underneath the altar. That would be my kind of first guess.
Sure.
Is that
if you check the base of it, the base of it seems to come directly from the living rock that makes up the floor. This altar was carved out of the rock as well too.
And obviously we can't. There's not like. Is the artistry on the walls, is it like continuous or in panels?
Continuous all the way around.
Yeah, so there's not like an obvious like this might have been like one section that was carved at a time to allow for like a sarcophagus or something to be put inside.
The thought may go to your mind as well that if the artisan was so gifted as to make these flawless images in the walls, these images of horror, albeit, but still, the artistry behind it is perfection. It may not be unthinkable that they could likewise have the skill to conceal a hidden door.
Yep, that was definitely on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what we would do to access said door, except like touching a lot of spots on the wall.
Is there a bust of Shakespeare? No? Okay.
Yeah, do we see? I guess that's one. Are the images and the like characters, are they individualized, or are they sort of generic?
Yeah. If you look at them, there is a great deal of care that's put in to make not only specific hairstyles, specific beards or facial features, braids, even the faces themselves you can tell apart. Mm-hmm. One woman being, crushed underneath a cart. It looks very different from the woman who has a wall falling on her.
Yeah.
Would we be looking for our man then? Would that be the idea?
That's one idea that I had, is we could see if we could recognize anything kind of particularly related to Ferkashud. I'm not sure how well we could actually like see his face in the middle of combat, but maybe some type of like, if there's evidence of like what we would consider like a more mechanical asset, less like a cart and more like, something like the work tables that we saw upstairs, something going wrong with that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. So if you look around, you guys kind of spread out. You can picture, and this is what, 10, 20, 30, it's 40 feet by 30 feet. And the ceilings are 20 feet tall in here. So that's a lot of wall space with a lot of fine detail that's in it. So you guys will be spreading out, and,
Where's Waldo, innit? Where's Waldo?
Exactly.
Where's Waldo?
I need to change my notes to take away the striped jumper that Ferkashud has on. What you do with a careful eye towards that, and in the film version of the campaign, we would see you guys focusing on all these just horrific things, and you'd hear in like background the sound of the terrors befalling these people, the awful misfortunes, the guy hanging from one clearly broken leg from a ladder, the guy about to be crushed by a tree coming down. And I want you each give us a D6 roll, please. Kane, what is your wisdom? Okay. 9? Top stat. Okay, so then... and we don't have a roll from Amar. We get a D6 roll from Amar, please. 3. Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. It was caught in the pipes. You needed to get it loose. Okay, so what... I think, Amar, you are the one... And maybe because you've most recently fallen victim to the traps laid for you, what you find is right almost above you, because the ceiling is also carved with this stuff as well.
Wow.
Above you, right in the center, there is a single figure. And when you see this thing, you look around and are making sure that your eyes aren't playing tricks on you, but of all of the hundreds, if not thousands, of images that, of misfortune and horrific injuries, if not death, there is one figure that is not subject to these misfortunes. And that is a robed figure with a long beard and long hair. And if you look around, you can see that there is a rough kind of like, it's almost like a horror mandala effect that if you look at the broader, the thrust or the motion of all these images taken from a distance back, it seems to move around towards that point. It's not obvious where there's like lines going in, but just if you have the eye for it and you allow yourself to sort of step back from the finer details in this, you can see that the entire room almost seems to, from the floors, from the base of each of the walls all the way up and then across the ceiling, all these images of horror and pain all seem to focus in on this singular figure in a very subtle way.
All right, I'm going to point that out to Zanico and explain it to him and get his insight on that. I'm looking at the room. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm wondering. So it would be approximately, Kevin, basically in the ceiling here?
Yeah, it'd be like right in the point between these two.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think I want to... I'm trying to think. Because, I mean, if it was a pressure plate, we would have stepped on it. I guess we could check to see if there's any kind of break in the seam of the floor.
You check around on the
Especially
floor.
in that area.
Yeah. Nothing on the floor.
Gwen cups her hands, steps over to you guys, like you need a boost up.
Yeah, what is the total height?
20 feet up.
Like 20 feet, isn't it?
Oh, good lord.
So, yeah, Zanico will offer if we want to, between him and Gwen, Kane might be better suited.
The 20-foot
Zanico
pole
only has a strict 9.
The 20-foot pole is suddenly being displaced by that stupid desk as the must-bring item for your adventure on the go.
I'm thinking human pyramid.
You know those, like, this may be, maybe they've changed things for you, Arlen, but do you guys remember, like, those insanely heavy metal desks that teachers would have in high school? And if you move them, it would sound like you were grating 2 garbage trucks together? I'm picturing that's the desk that you guys have been dragging through here to test the floor.
But yeah, we could get somebody. I guess we probably couldn't get somebody up close enough to touch it, but close enough to maybe take a better look. If Zanico is pushing his light up there and Kane and Gwen are holding Amar up, that he might be able to get a better sense of the detail on that particular carving.
What do you guys think?
I mean, that seems to be the best option at this point.
To get closer to the...
Yeah.
Well, or if there's a way, so...
How tall is Amar?
Oh, Amar's small. He's, let's see, 5'6".
Yeah.
Well, I've got no problem.
For Kane and Gwen, that's still only like halfway.
Yeah, I've got no problem lifting someone up, but so Amar is super dexterous.
Mm-hmm.
If I stood on, we'd get pretty close. If I stood on that altar, say that's 3 or 4 foot high, and I'm 6 foot something, and then you got, we'll be getting up about 16 foot-ish.
But it's in the middle of the room, unfortunately.
Yeah, so we'd be a little ways away.
Yeah. We'd only be 7 foot away from the center of the room, 7 or 8 foot away from the center of the room. Just depends whether you think it would be better to have that additional 4 foot of height versus being directly under the center. I mean, we can try both. I mean, we do both. It doesn't matter, does it?
Well, what about, so Gwen is 5'11". How tall is Kane?
Let's have a look. It's gonna be 195. So that's 6'6".
6'6". So maybe on Kane's shoulders, we get Zanico, and Gwen is there to try and help him balance. And Zanico raises his staff up to see.
Yeah.
Maybe prod it with your staff. I don't know if that's.
Well, I think I can hold my light going a little ways away from me, the cantrip. So what I was thinking, but I have to concentrate on it. So I was thinking that I might not be the best person to be looking for details if I'm also concentrating on keeping the light going. That if we holding Amar up to look at details and me kind of trying to keep the light as close as I can to where he's looking.
And I've got a ring that generates light as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So then you may not need. Yeah. So you may not need me to help out.
Yeah, you can focus on just not dropping them.
Yeah. So I guess 3 of us, Gwen and Kane, can each take a foot, and
we'll kind of maybe we'll form a base, put our hands on each other's shoulders, kind of thing, and brace ourselves, and then maybe Zanico can help Will get up onto the top of us.
He's a monk. He can easily.
Of course. Yeah. He just takes a run up and flips up onto the top of our little platform that we've created.
Okay. All right. So then, Amar, you're easily able to get yourself up and closer to it. Did you guys? So figure 2.5 feet from the base, and then is someone else kneeling? We're making a pyramid here.
I think we're Amar on Gwen and Kane's shoulders. So
okay. So you guys are gonna stand up.
That gets us to Amar's eyes at about 10 feet out of 20.
Yeah.
Maybe a little taller.
Yeah, a little more, even a little more than that. So yeah, you're definitely closer to it. And then if you kung fu off of their shoulders, then you may get yourself even closer for a period.
Yeah.
But bringing yourself in, what you can see is that the level of detail on that face is equal to any of the other individualized ones. And while, the memory of Furkashud lingers, and in his half-manifested form, it's tough to make out facial features. That prominent forehead, that aquiline nose, that sweeping wild beard, that's all featured in that image. This is also, and I think if I've said this, forgive me, I'm brain dead this morning. This seems to be the only image that does not have any misfortune happening.
Yeah.
Unless this is like a whatchamacallit, the philosophical term escapes me, but like the idea that this is kind of cause and effect, right? That this is misfortune in itself, if that makes sense, right? For Kashud's presence or existence is somehow
Yeah.
misfortunate and misfortune.
Turns out he's been in a prison of his own making all this time, man.
Well, I'm thinking about like if the idea is that somehow Fergus is like all these things displayed here, that would sort of fit with the nastiness that we have been experiencing. Although that's sort of the way that ghosts are, it seems like. But
Well, and I mean, if what I was asking before, Zanico, is what your impression? What purpose would this chamber serve? Do you think?
yeah, I think it's a place. Well, yeah, with the altar, it seems like place of worship on some level. Perhaps a crypt or crypt keeper element. Definitely some. It's hard to tell, right? We can't really tell if the bones came from here, if they were put here, right? Like a sacrifice versus a
Well, I mean,
an interment.
unless they, I mean, like the bones. The reason I asked what your impression was because if you look back and see where those bones are placed, I mean, it's a different way of venerating, but there seems something, there seems a element of offering, that goes with that.
Yeah, it strikes me that he's cast in this imagery as the godlike overseer of all this misery, like in a kind of anti-god way, whatever you call that is, and it's full of like self-importance and stuff. He's taken the place of what would be the sun in the sky. Or
so, as you say that, Amar and Zanico, what you notice is his head, or at least the image he's got, it's down, or downcast.
Oh.
In the sense that you might almost think that they're, it's either in contemplation or perhaps prayer.
Judgment. Oh.
It's not judgment in the sense that like there's certainly no shame or whatever that's carved. Like the details in the image are so fine that you can read its face as much as you could like a living person's. And pride, maybe, but the eyes are down. The eyes are turned down. The head is turned down a bit.
Disappointed? Could he be disappointed in all these people and he's wreaking his revenge? He's been let down somehow.
The reading on the expression doesn't suggest anger or whatnot.
Okay.
No, the
now you know.
Almost,
this is why I specialize in hammering things.
Yeah, the smirk on the carved image's face. It
smirk.
It almost seems like its head is downcast, but it has the look of a being, smug and like expecting reward. Or there are those that in churches that will, or in any organization, I suppose, that are grateful for praise, and praise may be unexpected. This has the look of someone who expects praise or expects reward for its actions.
Two questions. Number one, what direction is the head? Is it towards the north, the south, the door, or the altar?
The head is directly above. If he was looking down, he'd be looking down towards the door.
Okay, so it's looking that way.
Yeah.
And then, now that I'm up here, looking down, does anything look different from this perspective?
What you see on the floor is there it was not immediately obvious from above, but there is a bit of a slight discoloration for some of the tiles on the floor. In here, it's not just bare rock, and it's not like terracotta tiles or ceramic tiles that have been put down. What it is that there looks like there have been pieces of stone that have been sealed together, and there's a very small grid-like pattern.
Okay.
So
it's kind of like they alternate.
Yeah, and it's strange because it's a very, very subtle effect, and what it suggests is that there was care put into the floor of this place as well as all the walls and ceiling.
And it's a chessboard. It's not making out any specific kind of pattern or anything.
Not any pattern you can detect, and it's faded as well too with time. So,
and nothing looks different from the at the altar from up here.
No, though. Yeah, no.
Okay. I have no idea what this room is.
Were there any other beings offering information down here?
Yeah.
Listen,
my man. Yeah.
Cavaventian.
Yeah,
nothing sinister there.
Gonna sort it all out. Get me back to my cat. Get me back to my castle. It's got it all going on.
Get you to hell in a handbasket.
So what do you guys make of this room then?
It's messed up.
Yeah, I mean it's you know, you get the feeling there's something here. There's something to be learned. There's something to be found. And this is a room with to me, it's a room with a very different purpose than any of the other rooms we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, most of the other rooms we've seen have been scientific in some shape, form, or fashion, or academic at least. That's not the impression I get from this room.
If you were to guess,
could this be the room where this entity was summoned from? And this smug look on Shun's face is something to do with the fact that he managed to entrap this demon thing. It's because that demon came here and was trapped here by Shun. How did Shun do that? Did he do all this badness and get this demon creature here, and now he's smug about it? And I don't know, man.
Well, and there was the slime thing that was in here before that we killed, right? So I'm wondering what that has to do with, if this was rather kind of something parallel to what goes on with Cavaventian, right? Like this, the Shoggoth slime devouring, the devourer of slime. Somehow this has to do with like a different path to a similar object, like a communion or a reaching out to another creature of the void in a different way than what he did for Cavaventian.
What other creatures have you, other than the undead? What else have you encountered throughout the tower?
The insect guys. Some insect guys, weren't there?
And sort of
electrical
mechanical
stuff.
or semi-mechanical.
What else?
you remember in that room with the winds?
What was in the room with the winds now?
There was so I remember some like other like it's hard to tell if they were undead or if they were like some type of like elemental things.
Yeah, the ones that I remember are they were like metal spirits. That's not the word. Scrap. Yeah.
Oh, that
they were
room.
like, they were like scrap iron poltergeists.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
That's the way I can
apart from those ones, the obviously undead, the spirit that rose, do you remember the names of the various labs or the laboratories that were marked?
Hell.
George.
Marlo
George.
remembers,
Yeah, Marlo.
Somebody called George.
George is, I
yeah,
believe.
yeah. Interrupt George's
Kind of
vacation so he can give
kind
us.
of
I remember the most.
I think he's
recent one.
flying today. Actually, we got 3,000 feet right now.
That's no excuse.
I think it was mimetic or something
second.
like that.
It was like, weren't it like gas and weren't it elemental kind of different, like liquids and gases and I don't know. Definitely there was one that was dealing with gases, wasn't there? I'm sure there was a lab that was all about gases.
Give me 1 second here. I'll give you the. I'm just trying to find the marking here. Because you do. I'm not going to penalize you with George's absence.
Yeah, I think Malo said that the terminology was more like gas than wind, and that there was a sort of firestorm one, and I think it had to do with like heat. Maybe?
Oh, remember it was. I remember now. It was in the study, wasn't it? We found that book.
Yeah. Well, there was a whole library place. Wasn't there?
Yeah. Here's what it was. So here's what it read as, guys. Lab 1, alchemy. Lab 2, fluid siphoning research. Lab 3, gaseous ooze research. Anata Visk, lead. Lab 4, animal research. Lab 5, infernal cloud research. There's a name Geneset Farvastian in there. Lab 6, technic research. Lab 7, quasi-gaseous research. Lab 8, swarm behavior studies.
Yeah, we had a swarm thing. There was a swarm thing we encountered, wasn't there?
Lab
Like bugs.
9, smoke and particle research. And Lab 0, mnemotech research. Or sorry, mnemotech recovery. That word, he's translating phonetically. The word means nothing to him.
Mnemotech.
Mnemotech.
Yeah. Whatever that is. Yeah. So
Well, but
we
it sounds like, based on what we found, that those might all have to do with like
these creatures.
forms of existence or intelligence, right? Like if we found a weird like undead elemental creature in the gaseous ones, it's not just about that the unifying factor is sort of the unspoken element in all of them, that they're all sort of about things that are still here in a different form, right?
Well, it's like they've all escaped, isn't it? Like this was a research facility and a bunch of this stuff has escaped somehow and we're encountering it. We've encountered examples of most of that stuff, haven't we?
Well, what I'm getting at is the stuff that we've encountered, even like there was the like it was like a snake but with sort of like weird mandibles and stuff, but robotic or made out of metal, I guess is how
Oh yeah, it's like the centipede things.
Yeah.
the centipede sort of thing.
Yeah.
Even
I
that,
remember
it seems like everything that we've encountered has had some type of like an intelligence, if that makes sense. We haven't really encountered anything that is just like a
hazardous material, or
yeah, just like raw hazardous material, as opposed to something that has kind of had it out for us, right? And that therefore I'm wondering if that has to do. What if Firkus Shude, as the researcher, spent or was the head of whatever research was going on here that has to do with an attempt to create or modify or somehow like transfer intelligence or create intelligence in different forms of life and existence, and that has to do with him being a ghost or a specter or whatever it is that he is, right?
He is. Remember, for those of you who have actually hit him, he has substance.
Yeah.
See, that's what I was kind of looking at the different rooms and thinking about him specifically. Like, there's a smoke particle room, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, that's very much in the quasi-gaseous.
Yep.
I mean, those scream out. So, I mean, what if each individual room was a place where he researched how to become this?
There has been one other interesting recurring thing you guys have found. Those are the cocoons.
yeah.
So you guys found that one cocoon partway through the upper part of the structure, and then you found 3 cocoons in the in those cells on this level. One of which formed a torso of that strange walking pile of humanoid worms or maggots.
Are these possibly attempts by him to get a corporeal?
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is he like got together this project to kind of bring himself back into the world?
Or maybe just to act through different kind of avatars?
Well, and I wonder if that has to do with, right, the kind of iconography of what's in here, right? All of this is sort of about, like, accidents and inescapable fate, right? No matter when it happens, eventually you die, right? If he is positioned himself at the not just the center of this as the cause, but also the center of this as in somehow he is beyond that.
Fate.
Right? He's cause, not effect now. As if he is not he's like figured out a way to, I'm like a gas creature now instead of a mortal human Atlantean.
One thing that I mentioned too, the state of the Sky People's structures, Zanico, would you characterize them as, colonizing, or would you characterize them as having fallen to Earth?
I think, fallen to Earth in a lot of ways is closer, because it's like hard to tell. They didn't come out and behave like us, right? They didn't start conquering places.
No.
But they also have like a remarkable, it's sort of like how could that be the fallen version if this, what must they have been at?
Exactly. And I mean, everything that you've heard of, I mean, your tribe assiduously avoids them because of the danger and whatever, but it's ruins. It's always ruins. So if the Sky People had this capacity and this mastery of technology, what do you think would have happened to bring them low, to bring them to your land? Choice or misfortune?
Yeah, misfortune would be. Surely they didn't all decide we'd rather be Philistines.
You notice that there are some, in the illustrations as well, I mentioned that there are things that characterize them as Atlanteans. That includes their strange flying discs. And they seem to be on the angle plummeting from the skies. is it possible that either they venerated a god of this, or that a civilization-ending event would so traumatize a people as to them assuming that some god must have been behind their misfortunes?
Is there any are there like non-human entities anywhere, like any weird, like the slime or weird tentacles or anything like that, kind of
In the carvings? No.
in the carvings? No.
It's all
Yeah.
Atlanteans carrying weapons that seem similar to what Mar wields, his ray gun. Some carrying unusual looking swords. It's strange looking crossbows without a cross bar on it. But every single one of them has some terrible thing befalling them. Buildings collapsing.
But no like direct agent, like an Atlantean getting stabbed by another creature that's not an Atlantean or something like that.
Nope. The victims and the subjects of all of these illustrations are either Atlantean humans, or at least humans, or they are the what do you call it? It's the inanimate things that are part of the calamity.
Mm-hmm. And this, we had a sense that this particular, I had a sense from the outside that this particular tower was a little more ramshackle than some of the other ruins that I had seen.
Yep.
Yeah. The interior doesn't seem to suggest that as nearly as much, although I'd probably never been in an Atlantean ruin, so I guess I wouldn't know.
Yep.
But that it remarkable on the interior, but that on the exterior, I at one point had suggested that perhaps it's like a something made out of Atlantean material, but almost like by a local tribe or something like that. That doesn't seem to be the case now, although they could have used, I don't know. I wonder if the Atlanteans have a way of like enslaving local workmen and turning them into master masons to do the manual labor.
You did see other moving beings in here.
Yeah. So, with all of this, do we have a plan more elegant than Kane's Stop the Beating Heart in order of dealing with this stuff? Because it seems like all of this is kind of useful information, but it doesn't. If Furkashute isn't willing to talk, and he doesn't seem like he's willing to talk, no amount of information about his life is going to help us to.
Well, I do have two plans, but neither of them are particularly subtle.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is make a deal with the demon guy who's got a name with way too many syllables in it. And
I forgot to show you guys that this was the robots that you faced.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I remembered. I might have missed them.
Oh, what you mean? I missed that session, so I didn't. Yeah.
No, that was when we first.
That was the first level, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very early when we were opening the doors, and I know one of them was like a steam trap, and then that's where the electric hammer came from. We ran into maybe 4 of those, 2 in one room, 2 in another, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've not seen them guys.
Mm-hmm. I loaded the image after the fact and forgot to show you guys, but I figured I'd show you. Those were the other moving things, apart from the inhuman creatures, apart from the obvious unquiet spirits. That's the other moving things you've seen in here.
I feel like we've had a taste of most of them labs at this point. So both of my plans are pretty unsubtle, as you might expect. Pact with the demon or blow the fucking place up.
I'm opposed to pact with the demon.
Yeah, I was getting that impression that I was not getting a lot of popular support on that. Pressing that particular big red button was not a popular decision.
Yeah.
Not wide support for that course of action. That's okay. That's fine. I'll just do it when you're asleep.
So shall we make our way back to the room that makes the vibrating and the noises and all that sort of stuff?
I mean, I'm happy to puzzle it out, but you know, it is an interesting mystery for sure. But Kane is one for forcing the situation if he can, and maybe by busting something more will come to light.
So where do you guys wish to go?
To the boiler room.
All right. I have a little bit more healing. Do we want to stack it up on Kane to try to have the best odds of him surviving like a big hit, or do we want to strike Mar so that we're more even? That seems like the two ideas that come to me. As what I'm wondering is those big electrical traps. Those are enough to like take somebody down from really virile and healthy to almost nothing. In which case, maybe we want to stack everything on one person, have them go first.
Well, we're just going back the way we come, no?
Yeah, but we encountered 2 electrical traps after sleeping down here that weren't there before.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
Yep.
Furcus
These
is
are the
what
ones
you.
that are in the corridor. In the corridor.
Yeah.
Yeah. One in the corridor and one on the door itself.
Furcus is what the bard calls a stinker. So, where do you guys wish to go then? Please feel free to move your tokens.
I say heal Amar in case it's not a trap.
All right. 9 points for you, Amar.
Okay, cool.
And I'm almost tapped out now.
Okay.
Gwen's like, "Want me to go?"
Okay.
Yeah, Gwen's got more hit points than any of you guys right now.
Oh, well then. Guess
Go
we
find
found
me
our
another
frontliner.
Your trap finder.
Yeah,
right.
you guys can all see her.
I can't see her numbers. I can just see the bar.
Oh, hold on.
I can see everybody else's numbers.
There we
yeah,
go.
there we go.
Okay.
I can't see Xanaco's name.
Xanaco's name. Okay, let's see here. How about now?
Hey.
Okay.
Cool.
So,
All right.
Do you want me to go in second place?
Is that doable for everybody?
Looks good. I guess we can. Kane knows where we're going, so he can direct Gwen from just behind.
Sure.
Since Gwen hasn't paid as much attention to the layout down here, apparently.
Okay. So Gwen is moving off into darkness there.
You wait for the light to show up.
So when you guys make your way into the hallway, you can once again hear boom, 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 in the vents. And a low.
Did we ever work out what the banging in the vents was?
We think that's Shoot. It seems to be kind of a calling card, I think.
All right.
That sound about right?
Yeah.
Just keep going down.
Yeah, and then a turn, and that'll take us back to the main spiral.
Now, what you see here, Gwen, as you come around the corner, again, the ceilings are about 20 feet up in the basement here. Right around here, there is a vent right near the ceiling, and you can see a roiling, grayish mist or smoke. Seems to be out about 3 inches from the vent.
She leans back to Kane and points up at the smoke.
That's a bit ominous. That's our buddy Shoed and his smoky
Okay, she'll
malevolence.
put her shield away and pull out Arter's flail.
Okay, what do you guys do next?
Is this the door to the boiler room kind of thing? What I'm calling the boiler room?
This right here? No, so this right here is the sort of main original sort of spiral. So Gwen heading out from this door, you're going to turn left down this way.
Yeah.
And go down. There's going to be a door right over on your left that is going to the kind of the weird worm man, and we're going to go past that to a further door.
Okay, I think I remember being at the boiler room, but
All right, you come quite far.
so she'll like strafe sideways. She's getting closer to the.
So as soon as you step within 10 feet of it, in that kind of like, you know, when they reverse film of steam coming out of a pod, it kind of like sucks itself, it disappears into the vent, and you hear boop, 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 boop.
She turns around.
He's up to something. He's up to something. I don't trust him.
This door is open right now.
The door is open, yeah.
So Zanico will speak up and say, he'll move up to here and say, before you go through, Malo has told us a little bit about what sort of like residue a trap would leave. Let's check the doorway and the kind of floor there, because that seems to be where he likes to put them. If we have any chance of finding it, that would be a good spot to check.
Let's see.
That's right. I remember Mallow walking through the hallways, checking the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got an idea of like an oily pattern almost that it
like
leaves.
a glyph,
Very
like a
faint.
UC glyph or something.
Yeah.
So Gwen, Kane, and Zanico get down, and you are carefully studying this stuff. Amar, your eyes are, back down the hallway, up at the vent, and you look over, and you're like, whoa, 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 stop. There is a marking on the floor, right here.
She points out the marking on the floor and gets everybody to back up.
Yeah, we can get out of the way. If it's a 5-foot square, we could probably take a bit of a running start and hop over it, right?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking
I'd still
about
set
that.
it off, but that's
Well, what about if it's not? What if it's not on that square there?
You mean if it's not on this one, is that enough room to squeeze through?
Yeah.
The door's halfway into that 5-foot square.
Yeah.
So like going like this, and then trying to step through the door from here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Can I get to this square, Kev, or do I have to go diagonally?
Not sure. Not sure if you're getting too close to... None of you guys are sorcerers, unfortunately.
I'm going to try to...
So one thing I want to remind you guys of is that you have made use of mundane items to trigger these before. Remember, there was a
desk.
The door that led down into the into this whole substructure. You guys triggered something using a it was either a wet or a piece of the sheets from the bed.
Oh yeah.
What about some bones from the altar? Do we want to leave those where they are, or?
I mean, Gwen, you can try that too. It's a you might have enough room, but
Okay.
Well,
I'm an adventurer. I'm going to be adventurous.
okay. Gwen, I need a save versus device from you, please.
oh,
I'm a dead adventurer. Oh no!
Hey,
Success, nice. Okay. So
you may only take 25 points.
yeah, I
of
think
damage.
it's half of this then. So give me a sec here. I want to make sure I'm doing the right damage.
Maybe she should have like thrown her backpack across the floor or something like that. You know.
She was being adventurous. Okay, hold on here.
yeah, but you might lose your backpack that way. We know how problematic that is.
Most definitely. All right.
And then I can delete all the crap off my character sheet, and then
Okay, let's see. Let's see.
so much for sneaking by. I should have tried what Kane said. Jumped over.
Oh, that was Zaniko's idea, jumping over.
Was it?
Yeah.
And there was somebody behind me talking, giving me good advice that I totally.
I think I'm actually responsible for this mishap.
I was actually just thinking that after I said it. I'm like,
Here we go.
yeah, why don't you walk around there?
So
oh, wow.
when it's 16 points of damage you take.
We have 4 points of astonishing fortune.
He already made the save.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's not a hit, so you can't negate.
Okay.
So that is 17 damage that you take. DR will not apply. All right, so Gwen is this thing does discharge. Some of the electricity arcs up and goes up her armor, but smoking and yeah, her hair standing on end. She reaches the far side.
And then she waves you guys through.
We did see a mark, which is the first thing we've done in a while. We haven't seen anything before that I remember.
Yeah, we've seen these glyphs.
One of the traps yet? No. Aside from the accidental one that we triggered upstairs by throwing sheets at the door. Or no, we threw a desk at the door. Wasn't that it? Because Kane destroyed the desk in his throw because it was so strong.
Again, the desk replacing the 10-foot pole. Oh, man. Okay, so Gwen is safely on the far side, it seems. What do you guys want to do?
So did we decide that these things, once they've discharged, they're all right? Did we decide that?
All the other ones have been, but we could probably wait a second and take a look and see if there's any remaining marking on the floor.
Okay. Not that any of you can see.
Okay. Well,
Gwen will get out of the way in case someone wants to jump across.
I'll jump across. I ain't frightened.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a run up and jump across.
Yep. So you run up and throw yourself across and land safely on the other side.
And I'll move out of the way.
Okay.
Yeah, that should be nothing for a Mar to make.
Oh, no. Yeah. That's you're easily able to leap across.
Oh, come on. There we go.
And
And
Zaniko?
Zaniko said we got to head south.
Yeah. I guess I'm going to try the same thing. I'm not nearly as agile as Amar is, but a hop, skip, and a jump seems like the thing to do.
Yep. You safely land on the far side, too.
Nice. All right.
Now, where do you guys wish to go?
We're going to go down this way if we're heading towards the boiler room.
Okay. All right, so you carefully make your way down the corridor. That bumping in the vents seems to follow you along. And you
And
guys
stop
reach
here
here.
and points to the ground.
Okay. Have a look.
Okay.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah. Start watching the ground from here on.
From what you guys can tell, none of the stretch of the hallway leading up here appears to have anything on it.
What about the door?
As far as you can tell, nothing on the door either.
Okay. She has the big two-handed flail, and it's the cane. And then swings the door open.
Okay. Wow. The sound in here is quite loud as well, too. Some vast machine running. It's hot in here. Choked with hissing pipes and sparking wires. And that strange machine of metal, stone, and crystal grinds and whirs in a cacophonous din. Plumes of smoke and fire churning out of dozens of pipes that extend upwards into the ceiling. A huge metal door sits at the far end there.
And we've not explored that door, no?
Not explored that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember.
And there are vents in this room.
There are vents in this room as well, yeah.
Yep.
Well,
And
better
is
watch.
there any
We're walking.
smoke coming out of them right now, or?
Not that you can see. Although smoke seems to kind of hang in this room, so it might be difficult to... If that Shoot was looking for camouflage.
Yeah. Although sometimes his eyes seem to glow red. I guess hopefully we'd see that. Maybe he'd make a cackle or two, like a.
He does
nasty
not
old
seem
dog.
to be subtle. Although
Yeah.
he does seem to like watching you guys trigger his traps, though.
What's all are these benches, or what are these things around the room? These brown rectangles.
Yeah, those are... some appear to be... Yeah, I mean, they look like cabinets to you.
Okay. Have we had a look in any of them?
Not looked at any of them.
There's not an obvious handle on them. Like, they look...
Oh, yeah, I've got the solution for that.
Okay.
I've got the
Make an
key.
opening.
I've got the key for those cupboards.
Yeah. Would you like to try and smash it?
Yeah. Let's open up these cupboards and see what's inside.
All right, give me a sec here.
I will head over to the north wall. Let's look through the square window.
Give me a
Move
D20
over towards
roll, please.
Lynn,
D20.
away from Kane.
For Kane.
Yeah. D20. A 4.
Oof. So that's not quite good enough. You hit the side of this thing, and the... Hold on. I think I'd add your... I'm telling them, Anna. Jeez. It's that time of morning.
Again, Kev. Done it wrong again.
Everybody's walking their dogs right now, so she's just giving shit to everyone.
Well, she just knows her internal clock is always great. It's always 10 minutes fast, but
that's when she comes bursting in here like Kramer. That's when I'll know it's time to go outside. So, Kane, you actually with your strength modifier, that will actually burst the thing open. There's a shower of sparks, and the panel kind of falls away. And what's within there is more of the same. You know what it looks like? It looks like the inside of that ruined, like robotic creature you found at the center of that crater before you came in here. Sparks are coming out. What is Gwen? I saw you moved yourself down there. What are you intending on doing?
Well, Gwen was going to start looking at the floor, and then she heard the Kane's hammer, and she's looked up like,
Yep.
what are we doing?
Nothing of interest in here. So with that smashed open, these cabinets don't seem to... They seem to conceal some kind of... it's like a housing more so than an actual cabinet with anything within.
are they any like warmer or like a particular smell associated with them versus, I guess smell we couldn't really tell in the room, but warmer we might be able to.
It's the same smell that you get when Iffy casts her lightning bolt.
Yeah.
It's that arcing ozone burning smell.
But there's not any really other particular like. I had warmer is the thing that I was gravitating to because I'll reach out and get my hand real close to feel if they're like hot, like a furnace or something.
They're warm, more so. Not like you can keep your hand there without suffering any pain, but it's definitely warm, and there's vibrations moving through. There's vibrations moving through this whole room, but definitely through here.
Yep. Okay.
And this is the machine with all the crystals and rock and stuff.
Yep.
Are they illuminated crystals? Is it like flashing and stuff?
Yeah. There's some flashing in there, like reds and blues and yellow, and then electricity is sort of arcing up some of it in a kind of a Jacob's Ladder kind of way.
So they'd be really cool to play like whack-a-mole with.
They would.
When
We have got
door or cabinet or
we have got a hammer that like can take down the side of a house kind of thing. And I would say that if you hit this thing with that magic hammer, that would make a mess of it.
Yeah, it's a door that can, or a hammer that can breach castle gates. It leaves you pretty gutted afterwards.
Yeah, I haven't used it. Never used it.
No.
But I'm thinking if you really want to mess something up, that's the thing to hit.
Most definitely.
Do we want to check the door first?
Yeah.
Drastic.
okay. So when
Kane takes out his breaching hammer, kisses it, and says softly, "Soon,
soon, my beauty. Soon we will wreak havoc on this."
Yeah. Okay. You want to check the other door?
Yeah. And check the floor on the way to the door.
Mm-hmm.
On the way to the door. Okay, let's see here. As far as you can tell, there is nothing on the floor. But it's tough here.
Yeah.
Smoke and noise.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about on the door itself? Didn't we open the door? I thought we'd come through here once.
No, we didn't open this door.
Oh, okay.
So you see the floor, you and Amar both can see that there is another marking on the door. It's very, very faint. With a bit of grease or oil on it.
Is this a chair?
It is.
Gwen grabs a chair, puts her flail down, and hurtles the chair at the door.
Okay. So you toss the chair at the door. Kane, you think you can see in the lights in that, or the electricity or whatnot, in the broken open cabinet, it seems to be accelerating as Gwen picks up the chair, walks over. It's getting more intense, and Gwen throws the chair at the door so hard and so far, it looks unlikely to land for 2 weeks. So we'll see what happens in 2 weeks' time.
That's quite a throw. That's quite a throw.
That's quite a throw, indeed. All right. So for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for this short. I apologize for having a short or late start to the session once again, too. I fucking slept through my alarm again. Or last time I didn't set my alarm. This time I slept through the damn thing. I apologize for the short session through both the players, I mean, primarily, and to the viewers at home. But we'll see on in 2 weeks' time. I will have, as Arlen has suggested, I've been very good this year. And I have full hopes that Santa will be bringing me an alarm.
It might be a coal-powered alarm.
This is true. Looking at everybody's hit points, yeah, that sounds about right. So for those, I think this is, let's see, 2 weeks will bring us into, the new year. So this is our final session of this campaign in 2020. Next session will be into year 3 of this campaign, guys. So,
wow.
For those who have caught up, for those who've been with us all along, thank you so much for joining us on this voyage to Untamed Thule. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding this session, the campaign, or any other aspect of the game, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section of the video, and I will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. In addition, you can find a link in the description of this video to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, and you are more than welcome to join us there. We've got channels dedicated to this campaign, every other campaign we run on the channel, as well as channels dedicated to finding a group, to setting up virtual tabletops, to there's a ton of great channels, ton of great people with and great discussion. Our World of Warcraft channel as well too, where we're now trying to organize a Dungeon Musings dungeon running party. So it's been pretty fun. Dave has definitely been taking the lead on that. Yeah, I mean, you also can find all of us on there as well too. Oh, and I mentioned yesterday as well too, our channel with podcasts as well too. There's a channel where both Colin and Arlen have terrific podcasts, and share links to those on there as well too. So you can definitely follow the musings of these musers over there. In addition, if you want to reach me directly, you can reach me also on Twitter at Dungeon Musings, and by email. My email address is dungeonmusings@gmail.com. In addition, you can find, if you want to make sure you don't miss any future sessions of this in the coming year, the start of our 3rd year of this campaign, be sure to click on subscribe and the bell icon to be notified when we go live. I also post the schedule for the coming week on the community tab of the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel, and on the Dungeon Musings Discord server, and on Twitter. Last but not least, I want to give an enormous thank you, and once again an apology, to the players who patiently waited this morning for me to get my dumbass up. So, Arlen, Will, Dave, and Colin, thank you so much for playing today, guys, and for waiting for me to get my ass into gear. So thank you, guys.
We chatted BattleTech and other games. And
what? I missed BattleTech chat? Oh,
missed
God.
Yeah, Will wants to show off all of his mechs.
Oh, did you back the Kickstarter?
Yeah.
Oh. You know, I have so much fucking BattleTech stuff that I genuinely, like, I don't use it, and the Kickstarters look so good. It was that was the drawing line. I'm like, I'm never going to run this online, and if I do, I'm not going to be able to make use of them, but those minis look so awesome.
Here's
Yeah.
one of the Marauders. Let's see if I can get it up close enough.
Oh my god.
I mean, I was telling the guys, I was like, they are so, for plastic, they are so well detailed.
And it's the original design of the Marauder, too.
Yeah, to some extent. They did have to change some of the stuff. It's not like classic, Robotech.
Yeah.
But you can tell what they are.
It looks a lot closer than the illustrations they had for Project Phoenix. Remember when they reintroduced all the band mechs? They had the new art in it, so cool. All right, guys. Well, listen, we will bring this session to a close. For those listening at home, again, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you in 2021 if you are joining us live or before the turn of the holiday. As is always the case this year, if you are joining us during the current pandemic, we do hope that this finds you healthy, safe, and weathering the current crisis as well as can be expected. We hope that we gave you a couple of hours of time to turn your mind off of the troubles of our world and to think about the troubles that our heroes in Thule keep getting themselves into. And until we see you again, happy holidays, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.